Anyways, we're back.
Oop.
I guess Baget are Russian. Baget are Russian.
Okay.
Maybe
It's
it
good to
would
know.
explain the questionable manners in the last game. They quit out without GGing. But
Well, happens from time to time, especially against a frustrating loss. Like as you know, it just sort of happens. And there's
I actually like
mass
playing with
change.
Russians more than most people. They're pretty funny. And
Check
they're
out,
usually
check out
pretty
what they're
good.
showing off.
They're usually pretty good. As dang, remake bug is the call. Okay,
Okay.
fair enough. What bug? Did you buy 2 chickens?
They
No.
did. They did. They shouldn't be allowed to remake this. Oh well. This is not a legitimate remake.
Where's the second chicken?
They're both at base.
Really? I can't see it.
There
Oh,
too.
oh, it's the Radiant team. They had 2 bugs. Just do Pinoy strat, guys. Come on.
But yeah, the fact that these guys are European would explain why I haven't heard of any, or not heard of, but haven't played with any of these players before. But okay.
I mean, I didn't actually see it, man. Move.
Yeah, it's no big deal. I'll
Yeah.
take their word for it.
I guess give them the benefit of the doubt.
I actually haven't seen that bug before. Courier couldn't move. I don't know.
Well, it
But
would
this last
explain why they
patch,
bought
this last
another
patch
one.
was real buggy for me at least. So
It would have explained why they bought another one, I guess. Unless
Yeah.
they misclicked. I mean, they could just sell it. So, the fact that both couldn't move. I mean, I didn't honestly see the movement of the couriers.
well, I think the most important courier-related thing from last game was that the whoever was on Dire side had a golden courier. Yeah, it was out of Tangoes. Honestly,
Tangoes
that's like
had-
the most important thing about anything in Dota ever, really. Having a good courier.
I know, seriously. Dude, my personal favorite's like the sheep. The sheep is kick-ass.
Sheep's pretty legit. I will give it that. I saw one of the sheeps with a, or I think it was a sheep, with the new unusual effect the other day, and I was so happy. I didn't even mind if we lost the game horribly.
Actually funny, because I had an old Dire Chide chest. It was like one of the squishy ones, and I opened it up, and I got a baby Roshan.
Yeah, not bad.
Maybe I'll trade it for a tournament ticket or something, if anybody wants it. No effects, so I'll probably be left by myself. Yeah, Twitch TV recording is enabled. Can you check out on your laptop to see if the stream's online? Because the 3
Yeah,
minute
let me
delay should
just
have
check.
ended. Oh, yeah, it is online. Alright, we're good.
Wonderful. What's the address, by the way? It's just b-ballin or
Yeah, B-Ball 773.
773. Okay.
Stupid YouTube. Can't change names, so everything has to be 773 now. Anyways, we're back in this game. Shouts to Complet and Steel Series. And if Baget lose this game fighting so hard for the tournament, they're not going to get anything. It doesn't pay out to top 3, only to pay out top 2. So it would be very unfortunate.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's sort of an indication of what might happen in the pro scene because, like, you know, Navi, EG have played like 3 months in defense, and they might not get anything if EG loses the next match. So,
Oh man, that would be upsetting if that happened. You play so long and get nothing out of it.
I know.
Even after they played, both of those teams have played pretty freaking well, at least in my opinion. So
Yeah. But VP, best team in the world.
you know it.
I love VP. Well, I just love NS and Santa, Dota 1 veterans. And Tame Wild, because he has that ball. NS ball first. But anyway, that's a different matter entirely. You have Tangoes versus Baget, Russian teams versus Swedes. Tangoes known for some small turns here and there. Pretty strong Swedish team, like to split push a lot, make the other team, let the other team make mistakes, but if they get pressured early on, they make mistakes themselves. But other than that, they don't really like make mistakes, and this is only the second match I've casted Baget, and the winner faces Right in the Dark, who I've honestly never seen make any mistakes in their games thus far, which is going to be very, very difficult. So it'll be interesting to see if either of these teams have what it takes to face Right in the Dark.
Yeah, and you want to introduce the players?
Yep. So on the side of Tangoes, you have Frigoli playing the Rubik, Steph Style is playing the Crystal Main, Flox is playing the Windrunner, best name ever, Sisso is playing the Nyx Assassin, and Maglev Gang Train is going to be handling that Lone Druid.
And on the Radiant side, for Baget, we're going to have Life on Shadow Demon. On Disruptor, we have Sex with a KS. We have K-Paw on the Magnus. Dash, I'm just going to pronounce that as, playing Nakes. And finally, Blue on the Templar Assassin.
Yep, so it looks like it is going to be an aggressive trial lane with the Crystal Maiden. I think that makes a bit more sense, as Lone Druid wants to get experience, and they're predicting the safe lane maneuvering of the Leicester. Want to contest that a lot. They know Disruptor, really not the strongest trial lane hero. It doesn't really pair that well with the Shadow Demon either, as this is a weird trial lane.
Well, you can set up the static field,
Yeah,
kinetic field, but that's about it.
Yeah, it doesn't really do damage. I mean, you can trap you with the Lifestealer, but anyway, we will see as the Crystal Main Rubik gonna hide themselves. A nice 3-man Nova static or kinetic field is gonna be the first skill. Will help save the life of the Disruptor and the Shadow Fiend or Shadow Demon. Nice reactions and nice saving the skill point by the Disruptor. Seeing that okay, everybody's missing. Let's get kinetic field once they reveal themselves.
Yeah, that was pretty sneaky. I think they thought it was going to be Magnus solo because he hadn't shown up in top lane yet. And it actually wasn't, so they're going to deal a ton of damage for that. They definitely came out on top of that because, you know, they dealt almost 300 damage to the Disruptor. But I think Nakes is going to have pretty good farm in this lane. I don't think they're really ever going to be able to kill him or shut him down. And he's got a lot of regen, so... Well, if you count the regen of the supports, who both have a full set of regen, it's probably going to pull to him a little bit.
I mean, all Nyx is handling TA. Mana Burn just gives TA absolute fits. And she's getting her bottle shipped towards her, but still, Mana Burn... Going through Refraction, Mana Burn is just too good.
It's a hard matchup. Like, it wasn't a good matchup before Refraction got nerfed, and now that it is nerfed, you just never ever have it. Like, you get it up after you use your bottle once, and that's about it. You get maybe 3 Refractions in the first 4 minutes, it just doesn't work. Nyx just does whatever he wants.
Maybe max Cyblades by level 7 for this lane matchup? Probably not, but... You know, I guess if you want to go purely by lane matchups, that might be a solid option. But anyway, top lane Magnus versus the Lone Druid. Magnus 2 CS compared to the Lone Druid's 10, as we have ganking in the background by SK's dog.
I'll be right back. I'm muting my mic. Gotta go deal with him.
No problem. As meanwhile, Windrunner compared to Nyx gonna get the Windrunner on the bot lane gonna get the farm. Flox usually makes pretty good use of his farm, as he usually gets the mechanism for staff for his team, and there's really no other natural mechanism to carry. I mean, you could theoretically put the mecha on the Nyx, but you want to get that fast blink dagger. Again, the duration of the Nyx assassin stuns are just so long, it's really difficult to handle. As now that the Mana Burn is back online, can use it, probably waiting for TA to have a bit more mana, as then she will be very, very sorry to have met this matchup in lane. Meanwhile, Maglev Gang Train just continue to farm. 13-9, really controlling this lane very well. Magnus only 3-0 CS. Magnus probably not in danger of dying. Will always be able to skewer out of the Entangle. I mean, the Entangle will still follow the Magnus, but at that point, Magnus should be able to get far enough. And we'll be able to get some last hits here and there with the Shockwave Spam, but other than that, really no danger of killing the Lone Druid at any point.
No, not at all. Lone Druid's basically going to do whatever he wants. As long as this aggressive tri-lane is still there, and they're pressuring the enemy tri-lane, and there isn't really too much of a risk of them dying, the Silverbear's just safe forever, basically. And we might see, you know, just that 15-minute radiance up this game as Magnus disconnects.
Yep, I mean, you can see Lone Druid already 15-13 as our reboot is happening. Look at the creep mid is 0 HP. Oh wow, it is 0 HP. That's interesting.
Maybe it's in the death animation, like it just started. I don't know. I've never seen that before.
I think he is. Yeah, he is in death
animation.
Yeah,
it's got the numbers over it.
Yeah, he's falling forward. Oh no. This is the longest pause of this creep's life. His life is literally flashing before his eyes. And if you had a 30-second life, you know, not really too many experiences to flash by.
No, not at all. And we actually did see, I didn't get to talk about this, but we did see a dewarding coming out on the bottom lane. And so the Radiant side was able to pull, but unfortunately it was contested by out of Tangoes. You can contest these pulls pretty easily, and they just took most of the experience.
What's shocking is the Radiant have wards in the early game. But,
yeah. Imagine that, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess they need to be safe. This Tron has the capability to deal out a ton of DPS if they get one telekinesis off. if Winner can get a nice treated Shackleton. She's only level 2. And comparing this Australian, I mean, the Lifesteal can definitely make better use of the farm compared to the Windrunner, but Windrunner, she managed to get herself a fast mecha, fast 4 staff, really will benefit quite a bit as well.
Absolutely. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that this lane ward from the Radiant hasn't been dewarded. When you aggressive tri-lane, normally that is the first thing that you get rid of. And it's so obvious that that ward's usually there that you actually have to place it a little bit lower in a sneaky spot that's not quite as good, just because that ward is so good for Radiant, or the safe lane really, that it just gets instantly dewarded. And it hasn't been, and that's a huge advantage for Radiant that frankly out of Tangoes shouldn't be letting them have.
Tangoes is a dire. Oh yeah, it's a Radiant ward, like you said.
Yeah.
Maybe they're expecting Magnus won't teleport in for a gank. I mean, you can't really see the vision of the Shadow Demon or the Disruptor rolling on, but Shadow Demon only level 1 won't be in the part of the ganks for the near future. Maybe they're just really not afraid of this Shrine. I mean, not really fearing the Disruptor in Shrine. I can respect that, and Shadow Demon only level 1 doesn't have access to that Soul Catcher just yet. So there might be some reasoning, but maybe they just forgot. That could be likely as well. They have a Sentry Ward up on their Rubik, so it could be just that they're choosing not to deward there.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not really too sure either way. I mean, there are so many complicated reasons for not wanting to deward that it's not even worth going into.
Yeah, I mean, they could just be like, oh, we forgot that this ward is a possibility.
Yeah, it could even be that, but yeah. In mid lane, Tia is doing better than I thought she would. She's 14 last hit, 7 denies.
Yeah, I guess maybe she should have gotten that second courier so she can just bottle Crow, because the Rain will have rune advantage because they are able to get closer to that ward, or to that rune. And Magnus, probably since he can't keep up in the lane against 100, does have the potential to scout the rune, so maybe that second courier wouldn't be necessary anyway. But NA, one of his problems is that he does run out of mana quite quickly himself, so that could be an issue going forward. Very
much so, and something that I think this Nyx is going to run into this game is that he's not going to be able to kill Nyx. You just can't kill him. How is weather in Russia? It's probably pretty cold and snowy. Just a guess, but yeah, Nyx can't kill the Templar Assassin because she's going to have Refract up. You can't kill the Nyx because he's going to be able to rage your stun. So really, the only hero who's going to be able to get are the 2 supports on the enemy team. It's going to be kind of hard if you can't actually kill any of the core heroes as a Nyx when you're sent mid, so.
Cloudy with the chance of meteors.
Meteority, I don't know.
Yeah, all over the news, rocks, ETs coming all over the world, Rain of Fire, Rain of Chaos, Warlock Ultimates being dropped everywhere, or Invokers coming in with those Chaos Meteors. But anyway, yeah, the question is, for me at the very least, is what will the Rain do? Their supports are not going to be high leveled, and this 100 is going to get absolute free farm. So, what are they going to do about this bear?
Yeah, that is the biggest issue this game I see for either team. That's like the ticking time bomb. They got to deal with it. They have to deal with it, and I don't know how they're going to do it. TA kind of struggles against Syllabear because you can't kill him that fast. He doesn't just get bursted down because he's got so much HP. Magnus will reconnect, so that's going to be good, but neither of the supports on the Radiant side really deal damage. It's going to be completely up to Nyx, and my dog is barking once more, and I will be right back.
Yep, I'm just checking out the skill build on the side of the Dire. Staring double nuke on the side of Steph style because he is in Triline. Winner, 1 point into Power Shot, 1 point into Wind Run, in case she needs to get out of trouble. Telekinesis Fable being picked up by Rubik. Another thing out of the ordinary for the skill builds right there. NA going for the standard skill build. We'll see if he decides to put more points into Mana Burn rather than Spiked Carapace in case he wants to spend that a bit more. Probably go with the standard Max Impale, get a point to Vendetta, get that Spiked Carapace maxed up as well. Because he won't always be in lane, and 1 point to Mana Burn is for the most part what you need. But yeah, TA is handling herself quite well at this point. Is out CSing the NA, has more denies as well. So NA, even though he's a melee, so he's getting a bit more experience from these denies than other heroes, really just having a bit of trouble now that he's out of mana.
Yeah, it's going to be an issue for him. And I think as the Radiant is pushing up right here, I'm guessing that something's going to happen pretty soon. Because if the Radiant's going to push up like this on their supports, one of them is going to get snared by the Crystal Maiden Nova, and I think action might break out pretty soon. Just a guess, though. Not sure.
I guess they just pushed up to get access to the runes. Shaodyun is going to camp that bottom rune. In case NA does need that, he's going to go immediately to that top rune. It is going to be in the top rune, as NA trying to get there as fast as possible. TA has that naturally high base moon speed. Here comes the rush for the rune. NA does follow. You saw TA try to attack it, but just the attack animation from the TA a little bit too long, and that is very unfortunate for the TA because now Invisibility Rune and more mana charges to burn through the TA mana. I mean, TA can obviously bottle Courier, but still, not a good situation.
Yeah, that kind of sucked for TA. I was sure she was going to get it faster because she has boots and he doesn't, and she just wanted to be greedy. And to be honest, I would have done the same thing, trying to go for it, and she just made up her mind to deny it a split second too late. So, really lucky break coming out there for the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. No, NA. Oh, I guess he just picked up the boots.
He just got him, yeah.
And interesting enough, he's not going to vary the bottle back. I guess he just wants to have access the bottle in case the bear wants an item or something like that. But as it is, bear already has the Tranquil Boots up on his hero. Gonna have boots up on his bear. Has the Orb of Venom up very, very quickly. So now Magnus gonna be very hard pressed to stay in this lane. He can always skewer out. The Entangled won't dispel. So bear is in the right position with the Tranquil Boots. He will be able to catch up. And a couple more Entangles will seal the death of Magnus. So you can see Magnus not even bothering to contest this lane anymore. 6 to 30 and 19. This is not going well for the Magnus.
Oh man, that's just... that's bad. That's about as well as you can do in the lane. Maybe a little bit better, but... Oh, he's pushing up real far to try to get that last hit. He's gonna get entangled. He's taking
no mana for Skewer.
And he's got no mana for Skewer. He might go down here. He's getting smacked on by the bear. He's getting slowed from the Orb of Venom. Nice resummon by Syllaber. He's trying to body block with the hero. He's gonna try to get a few more. One more, I think he's going to get it. Salve is actually going to go through it. The bear isn't quite fast enough, and I think Magnus will live. But really good play there from Syllaber. That's some great micro.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't get the kill, but he burned his salve, and he forced Magnus out of the lane. Magnus, of course, will teleport back with full mana, so he will be a bit safer. But that means Syllaber will just have more time to farm. Magnus is not going to get experience. So overall, in the grand scheme of things, Bear would have loved to get that kill, but not too bad for him either way, as Magnus probably forced to go back to the top lane. He doesn't really want to gank the bottom lane without that ultimate, I imagine. Otherwise, he will be in a lot of danger.
And that's why I would say it was a huge loss for the Radiant side, because had Magnus stayed for a little bit longer and gotten 6, he would have just TP'd to the bottom lane, came in with reverse polarity, and probably gotten at least 1 kill, more likely 2.
Yep, and now the TP, of course, going to be on cooldown. Bear just going to deal a lot of us, and Bear still no boots just yet. 800 gold in the bank, might just be setting up for a full-out phase boots. Interesting that he hasn't gotten the boots on the Spirit Bear just yet, but still handling himself quite well as it is. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, just taking a lifesteal from 22 CS, and talking about this bear again, the one thing that is slightly in the Radiant's favor is that the only physical DPS for the most part is from that bear. So if they can just throw everything on the bear, if they have something like a pipe or a mechanism, they might be okay, even with this bear getting absolute free farm.
That's true, and to be honest, Nate's really good against Syllaber as a bear. Just because it has so much HP, you just kind of murder it.
Yeah, it doesn't really have too much armor either, as that feast does get reduced by armor. As I'm having a couple of last spikes, I think it's purely on my end. Mid lane is going to be ganked. Here comes Connect Field coming in. Disruption going to hold the NA in place. Going to pop the spike. Carapace should be able to escape A-OK. Will do so. 1 point of the Lightning Strike. Even if he got a second point, NA would have been able to live regardless. So a lot of resources expended pretty much for nothing, as NA going to find himself a Magnus going to impale. Vendetta going to get the heck out of there, just saying, "What's up, Magnus? Go back to base. You're not wanted here."
This poor Magnus. He's getting it from all fronts right now. But taking control of her lane. I'm really impressed. I mean, obviously the runes have helped a lot, and that DD is amazing, but right now she is bullying the Nyx around, and this is kind of huge, because if you can get a fast Blink Dagger up, that CM and Rubik are just straight up food.
Yeah, I mean, in this situation, would have been so crazy to max mana burn first rather than impale. I mean, it's crazy because you're not always going to be in lane, but maybe get a second point to mana burn than just rather than that additional point to impale. I mean,
I wouldn't even call it crazy. To be honest, a lot of mid Nyx assassins prefer to get points in mana burn over the Spike Carapace just because it increases your damage output. But I don't know. I think against all the AoE coming out from the Radiant side, I think at least 2 in Spike Carapace would have been appropriate before getting more in mana burn. And bot lane, maybe?
Bot lane, Windrunner is going to get disrupted as well as Soul Catcher. Glimpse backwards, Windrunner will not be able to escape. First blood happens 8.5 minutes in the game. Not to say that there hasn't been any action. There's been a lot of movement all over the map, but Nyx, or the Lifesteer, Shouting picked up the first blood, and Lester probably going to go for drums and Dharma. We see that very often these days. And meanwhile, Bear's being protected. They know they probably want to make a move on this Bear very, very soon, as these supports sacrifice the Windrunner in order to protect the Bear. The question is, will their AD actually go for the Bear? Maybe they're just going to leave it up to the Nyx and the TA, considering TA is doing so well in the middle lane.
Yeah, she's absolutely dominating, and she's actually going to finish her one and get a TP.
Frostbite going to lift the Magnus right out of the Skewer animation. Fable is going to clear up the kill with the help of that Crystal Nova. CM going to buy herself a nice new pair of shoes with some wards. Actually already has those nice pair of shoes. And now the push is going to income. This tower actually at a 30 HP will be brought down. And split push by Tangoes is going to come very, very soon.
And in mid lane, we see TA going on Nyx Assassin. The meld comes in Refract. He hasn't got any mana to spike Carapace. Now he does, but it's on cooldown. And he should be okay. Templar Assassin's just going to back off. But Nyx Assassin is going to be forced to go back to base. So while the Dire side is just kind of completely controlling their half of the map, they have nothing going on in any other parts of the map at all.
Yeah, Nyx is actually going to get that second point to mana burn. Really wants to burn mana as much as possible, and who wouldn't blame him? As TA without mana, very not good hero, which is very good English by me. I'm very proud of that sentence structure.
It's better than some of the stuff I've said, so can't really criticize. And we're going to see both teams going for the rune, but it's going to be another DD for this Templar Assassin. That's one of the best runes you can get on her. It's absolutely amazing. And we'll see if she goes, does anything with it, or just continues farming.
Smoke attempt by the Dire, going to place a very aggressive mid lane ward. They want to take down this mid tower, want to spy out any teleports. And TA, close to that dagger. If she dies now, it would be very unfortunate. Would lose a decent amount of gold, probably 200, 300 gold. And the push is going to come in, trying to bait out a gank attempt on this Lone Druid. Will she fall for it? Is going to get frostbitten. Going to cast a refraction after the frostbite, but still not enough. The Orb Venom. Oh, they have no detection. The bear trying to get one more right click. Can they do so? They will pick up the right click. Disruption just a bit too late. I wonder why she went out of the meld. Here comes Reverse Polarity. Gonna catch Lone Druid in mid-transformation, so he's gonna have a huge amount of HP. And Lone Druid should be able to escape. Gonna kill the bear, reducing his HP somewhat. And now the Lone Druid true form is on the run. Will be able to escape buyback by the TA. They want to take this fight. DD was unfortunately already used. Glimpse backward on the Lone Druid. Will be able to pick off the Lone Druid true form at the very least. So it's going to be a 1-for-1 with a buyback by the TA. Overall, I think that was probably worth it for the Radiant, considering Lone Druid was just farming out of control.
I would say it was worth it for the Radiant, but look at what Rubik's got.
It's a pretty good spell.
It's a pretty good spell. I'm pretty sure they're aware of that, but either way, this is going to be a big deal. If he can hold on to this and probably use it within the next minute, it's probably going to mean a one-team fight for Dire. Probably. This is all on paper, of course, but...
Yeah, the question is, can he get close enough to use it, as NA is going to gank in from the side. Unfortunately, Disruptor is completely out of mana, being mana burn. Shackle onto the Magnus. Can Magnus actually escape? Attack, animation canceling by the Windrunner will pick off the retreating Magnus. TA does kill off the Rubik, but Shouting is going to die. It's going to be a 3-for-1. Where is TA? She's trying to chase down the Windrunner. Did they get the tower? They did get the tower. And TA actually picked up the last hit, so that'll definitely go a long way in terms of helping her refund that buyback. And does she have her dagger up? We'll have it up in about 400 gold. But now this middle tower under a lot of pressure. Bear not yet in the picture, but he's coming. Actually, he's just going to the top lane. Never mind.
Yeah. There's no reason for him not to be honest. He can just kind of farm. Shadow Demon's going to come in. There's going to be some action at the top rune, actually. Looks like TA is going to get frozen. They're going to try to pursue her, but she's a little bit too fast. She's going to dodge the stun, and she should be fine. Yes. However, there will be a disrupt on the Syllabear. Will TA get there in time? He's morphing into his bear form. There's going to be a silence coming out. He's stuck in place with the kinetic field. TA is going to get the melt hit off, and he will go down. Nyx Assassin is here. He's going to be going for the disruptor. Yes, one-shotting him, even though he was at low health.
What an impale! Catching both heroes that collision size on the impale. Too big, but skewer backward onto the NA. Gonna mana burn it up, but NA is gonna die. Here comes Leicester deciding he actually wants to play this game, going on to Floxpux, running as if his life depends on it, because it does, unfortunately. His life will not be prolonged for too much longer. Trying to pick off the TA. No refraction, but unfortunately, the power shot does whiff. He managed to get that kill on the TA. That would have been huge. But now TA has dagger money. Lifestealer, what does he have? He has the drums. Going to be well on his way towards his armlet. And Bear has died twice in quick succession. Suddenly, things are not looking nearly as good for the Dire.
Every single advantage that the Dire had, the Syllabear having tons of farm, the aggressive tri-lane, which sort of kept the Nyx down, the fact that Magnus was really under-leveled, it's all gone. Magnus, he's got levels. TA is going to be out of control in the next couple of fights, assuming that she plays. And she's made some mistakes so far with her melds and refract usage, but the point is, she's got a ton of people, and there's a Nyx bomb coming in bot lane.
Nyx bomb on the Nyx. Here comes the Demonic Purge. He's gonna cast a Sentry Ward, gonna slow down the Nyx rage so he can't spike Carapace away. Gonna try to get one last parting blow to screw over the Shadow Demon. Unfortunately, he is the one that is gonna die. Reverse Polarity is online, so it looks like the Radiant gonna try to push in, take full advantage. They also have the Stag Storm, and this is a scary part of the Radiant lineup. Leicester with Silence Reverse Polarity on top of him. I do not know if the Dire can actually defend this.
No, and I think that they can go for 2, to be honest. While Syllabear just pushes the top lane in time.
Yep, as Disruptor gonna take a lot of damage, gonna get shackled, the most awkward shackle of the life. Man, Shackle's so broken as Disruptor's gonna die. The Rain get a tower, they're gonna be content with that. Actually, Shouting gets picked off on their tree as well. Nicely done by Floxplox as he's gonna be on his way towards Mechanims, actually still quite a ways away. Meanwhile, the Bear, still no boots on the Bear, just gonna rush that Radiance ASAP. He knows as TA is gonna become a bigger and bigger problem, he needs to get that Radiance up ASAP.
Oh man, another double damage rune for TA. Why do I never get these runes? I don't understand. But somebody's gonna die because of this rune.
Well, TA gonna get a decent amount of mana burn, and CM gonna bait out the double damage rune. Question is, will she pay for it with her life? No, double damage rune not yet popped. Just more mana burns coming in. Nick Assassin getting that 3rd point, gonna max that mana burn. So 4-second cooldown on the mana burn will be quite brutal. If they burn somebody like the Lifesteal's mana before he rages TA's mana, it will be pretty important as no Arcane Boots up on the side of the Radiant. Mana burn could become a huge issue very, very soon.
It very well could be. If they're able to in the next minute or two before they get their stuff up. But wait, engage mid lane. There's going to be a stun up on the TA. Power shot. She's going to get killed immediately. Will she buy back? I'm not sure. Shadow Demon's going to just try to save himself. He's still going to go down. He's going to ult, and it looks like she's going to get the last hit. Yes. Hope at the last second, just to deal a little bit of damage, but it's no big deal really. And actually, Nyx got the last hit.
Climbs backward onto the CM, trying to kill her off. Here comes the Leicester. Shockwave gonna trap a bunch of heal. Stack Storm silencing the Rubik as well as silencing the Windrunner, but Nyx Assassin putting in some work of his own. Can't unfortunately kill off the Magnetar. Floxfox trying to get the last hit. Does manage to kill off the Magnus, and Windrun into TP will escape successfully. Nicely done by Floxfox. It's gonna be a 3-for-2 engagement, but it's mostly Nyx and 2 supports for the life of Magnus and TA. I think that was probably worth it in the end, considering Lone Druid is free farming it up.
Yeah, Nyx isn't really that important. The fact that he had such a slow start, he's not going to be a huge factor. Like, if you can get a fast dagger up on your next minute, or really whatever item you're going for, he's really much more of a factor in Powerhouse. He is where he is right now. Like, he's not really going to be anything more than just, like, a support Nyx Assassin at this point.
And actually, 15 minutes in the game, only a slight gold advantage in the favor of the Radiant. They have 1 additional tower to their name, so that's probably where the gold advantage is coming from. Experience advantage ever so slightly in the Radiant's favor as well. Because I think, no, Crystal Maiden, decent amount of levels, has wards, treads, checking out the items on the Windrunner, finally finished the mechanism, checking out the Rubik. He has Arcane Boots of his own. And Lifestealer has the Armlet, so I guess he didn't have it in the last engagement, and now he wants to join the party. 1-0-4 has not been participating in too many of these engagements, but it might come back to hurt the Dire in the end.
It could be. It could absolutely hurt them. TA isn't that close to her BKB, and she isn't gonna be that big of an impact, I think, until she gets it, because her time to pick up is kind of over. In the last 5 minutes, she couldn't really get any down, and now they're gonna be grouped as 5. He's gonna go, and he skewers in, RP on 2. It will not get stolen. There's gonna be skewer dealing so much. TA's hurting the Rubik. He's almost dead. CM's gonna die. The Static Storm goes down. 3 for 1. Only the Disruptor going, and the tower goes down itself, but huge win for the Radiant.
Definitely, all the while Barry is pushing on the bottom lane. We'll pick up a tower, we'll be very close to Reigns, we'll head up relatively soon as Lifestealer and the Disruptor are going to be very, very happy. And one thing that is cool about these ultimates is, compared to most giant ultimates, I mean, Reverse Play is a ridiculous spell, but compared to most giant AoE ultimates that do a lot of utility, these ultimates relatively short cooldowns speaking, so keep in mind Static Storm will be up very, very soon, only 85-second cooldown of RP. Of course, ridiculously low cooldown for such a game-breaking ultimate. So Rain can take a lot more fights.
Yeah, and the map is completely opened up for them at this point. If we look at their wards, they have the super aggressive high Dire ward up placed right now. They're looking to try to get picks. And I just said that TA couldn't get any picks, but with the gold advantage that they just got, she's going to be so much closer to BKB. She actually will be able to, I think.
Meanwhile, checking out the Dire, Radiance just finished. Still no boots on the Bear, but he will probably pick that up as the next item. Crystal Maiden is being hunted. TA gonna pop that trap, gonna pop a second trap, gonna pop the haste rune as well. Frostbite gonna hold TA in place, will prevent her from pursuing the CM as TA is going to get chased away from the arrival of the teammates of the CM, as meanwhile Lone Druid going to teleport to top lane, keep up the farm, and now that TA's haste rune is going to expire and there's nobody in the vicinity, Lone Druid going to have a bit more time to free farm, but overall, considering the state of the game, well, never mind, there's going to be a giant engage, and Gloom's background actually didn't do anything. Rubik is going to get lifted up in the air. Here comes the shackle shot, holding TA into place. Magnus is going to skewer forward, try and get in position for that reverse play. Blink forward, try and get shot the Rubik, but Meld is going to be in place. Shouting does get the last hit with the Nova, or with the, God, Shadow Poison. Here comes the Crystal Main Ultimate. We'll finish off the Magnuses. I am lagging hardcore. I might have to reconnect.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, we see Lifestealer is going to get a kill on the Nyx Assassin, so I think a 2-for-1 trade, and Templar Assassin is getting chased down by that bear. Radiance is going on her. Oh, the power shot's just going to miss, but I think she's going to be okay just because she's faster than it. And yep, she will live and get away to fight another day.
Well, lag looks like it's fixed itself for a short amount of time, but I do apologize for the low frame rate in that fight. Usually I just upgrade Twitch so that, or I did some tinkering with Twitch so I'd have actually 0 frame drops, but anyway, it wasn't the frame drops, it was just lag of the internet. I am at home at the moment. So anyway, gonna have a Roshan attempt by the Dire. It's gonna take a bit of time for it to be brought down because they don't have anything like a medallion in place. Gonna give Radiant enough time to reinforce it. Stagstorm won't be online, but they do have RP, and that's pretty much all they need, as everybody in Dire is so clumped up. If they get RP now, it could be a huge disaster. Here comes Leicester getting a bit of damage by the bear, gonna kill off the Spear Bear. Does Lone Druid have a second summon? He does have it in place, but obviously probably don't want to take a fight without that bear. Nope, gonna seek a fight. The bear is at full HP. I guess that's where they're going in, as TA gonna pop the refraction back and forth. The dance does continue.
Yeah, and Nyx Assassin is just hiding on the wings for one support to push up so they can pick him off, but Radiant is aware of it, so they might actually pick him up. Pushes up too much.
Oh,
Bear's gonna get ganked.
Bear. And now the Dire definitely can't fight.
Not at all, and Nyx might get gone on. TA has that, but they won't pursue him, actually. And I think they're just going to take Roshan. Yeah.
And they could even push down the middle tower, because Bear was just resummoned, and it won't be in the play for the next 85 seconds. And I think if I were the Radiant, that's what I'd do as well, if they noticed the Bear being resummoned, which they probably did. They killed it twice.
I'm sure they did, yeah.
They got 200
looks like
extra gold.
Windrunner's going to get disrupted, so her Windrun won't be in place. The kinetic field holding her in place. TA is going on her. She's going to get out of it somewhere out, but now the Nyx picks up a dominating streak. This should be at least 2 towers for the Radiant side.
Yep. And Windrunner being dead, no mechanism in place, no power shot to keep out the CS. As the Dire, unfortunately, the creep wave was not with them, so Windrunner probably will respawn. But no real creepy room, so they'll have to push in for a tier 3 if they want an additional tower.
I think they can go top, though. It shouldn't take that long. And they can get themselves in position and ready to go. Let's see what they actually elect to do. Are they going to try to take the tier 3? I don't know if this is going to work. Could be a mistake. Shadow Demon's just going to die.
Oh! The stun's just a little bit not chained up with the Crystal Nova, going to finish up the kill. NA is going to chain for it with his life, but he's going to try to get himself back in game. They know this defense is oh so crucial, as RP and Sagstorm both online, but they're going to choose to back off right now, trading 1-for-1 for a buyback. And TA still has the Aegis, I imagine. Actually, Life
it's on Aegis. But TA just got her BKB, and Magnus, I think, has his dagger now. He's 100 gold away from it. He basically just got it. But I am going to be a little bit critical of the Radiants. They keep pushing up way too much and dying because of it. That's like the 4th or 5th time this has happened this game.
Meanwhile, Bear trying to bait a gank on the top lane. There are Dire supports rotating in with the Smoke of Deceit. I do not think the Radiant spy it out as they are going for the Bear. Bear will actually die before his teammates even get there, underestimating the burst damage potential. No, here comes NA with the Hero Impale. Lifestealer still trying to go to town as the Stagstorm is in place. The Nyx Assassin does kill off the TA, and it looks like Disruptor is going to be next one to fall. Lifestealer does lose his Aegis. Can he get Chain Sun down? Bear is very hesitant to go back in there. So low in terms of HP, trying to get one lucky entangle. That's all he needs. Shadow Demon is going to get picked off as well. Out Tangoes making a quick recovery as Lifestealer is being slowed down by the Orb Venom. Shackle Shot will be in play very, very soon. Shackle Shot waiting for the creep wave. Unfortunately, just a bit mistimed. A couple more hits will finish off the Lifestealer nonetheless. Does do so. Almost a complete team wipe. 5-0 if you count the Aegis. Only Magnus is the sole survivor. Man, I thought Bear would have died, but Bear too beastly.
That smoke was genius, though. The fact that they knew that the Radiant side was probably going to go gank the Syllabear, and they smoke in behind them after they use their spells on the Syllabear, who they knew were going to live for long enough. That was really smart. I'm impressed. And they're going to get a ton of tier 3 fort, or at least a little bit before they, not quite as much as I thought.
Yeah, I mean, in most games, we see TA get the Aegis, and I'm wondering if that fight would have been turned around if TA actually gets Aegis, as Winner is going to goes back, NA is going to cover the retreat of the Dire. Will pay for it with his life, as it's worthy sacrifice to get everybody back home safely. Probably should have backed off a bit sooner, but still gonna, not regret that decision too much. Leicester picks up the Desolator. But yeah, usually in most games we see TA pick up the Aegis, and I think that would have been the right choice in this game as well, as she probably would have been able to do much more work.
Got in the BKB, or just was about to get a BKB at the time of Roshan going down, so I think they thought that they wouldn't, like, she wouldn't die. But she messed up her BKB, she didn't BKB the Nyx stun, and she was bursted down from like 100 to 0 while she was Nyx stunned before she could even get the BKB out. So I think a little bit more questionable play by the Templar Assassin might be the reason why that happened. And while she's playing pretty well, she's missing a lot of meld hits, which is like the most important thing is TA. Like, your meld has to hit. And sometimes she's melded and then broken it when she thought like she would have lived had she not broken it. I think she's died 2 times because of that. So while she's playing pretty well, she's not like Ferrari level right now, you know?
Well, Ferrari level is pretty much the top of the food chain.
Ferrari level is pretty much only Ferrari. But yeah, she's made some mistakes, but she's played pretty well otherwise.
Yeah, taking a look at the overall golden experience graph, gold graph still relatively even, slight favorite in favor of the Radiant. They have more towers. Actually, tower count is even, so the extra Roshan definitely helped them out. Experience slightly in favor of the Radiant. Still anybody's game. One thing that is concerning, again, most of the damage is coming in on the Bear, and if Bear just gets bursted down, which the Desolator will do a lot to sort of bring that about. A lot of physical damage has been lost, but still, once the Rage wears off, Lifesteal is relatively paper HP, and TA, once her BKB wears off, will just die as well. So it's really, really difficult to say, but one thing that has not been a factor has been the Magnus. He's just been ganked repeatedly by this Nyx Assassin, never been able to cast RP. I have not seen RP in the past 5 minutes. Really not the fault of Magnus. I mean, didn't have the Blink Dagger until up recently, and NA's just been, giving him...
Yeah. Well, I think now that he has the Blink Dagger, he should do pretty well. Give me 1 second, people, and I'll be right back.
Yep, pause is going through. But yeah, Magnus, unfortunately, just been able to pick up the Blink Dagger recently, so RP could be a factor, but again, always gotta look out for that Rubik potentially sealing it. Rubik right now is a Shockwave the Fable. It does do a hefty amount of damage. Arcane Boots. Checking out the items on the Winner has the Force Staff as well as the Mecha. It looks like she's getting an item delivered to her as well. No items for her. I guess she just finished the Force Staff. Meanwhile, Lone Druid probably gonna go for AC next. Will need to get a lot of armor up very, very soon because of that Desolator now in play. And checking out the items on the rest of the support CM Dirt Poor, looks like she's saving up for a dagger. They want some form of initiation on their side other than the NA, and that is a pretty good idea to get it. Crystal Main Frostbite definitely been a huge factor in a lot of these engagements. Meanwhile, everybody else is for the most part dirt poor, just waiting for the game to go back online. So just to reintroduce this tournament, I'm B-Ballin. With me is Shred Kid, and we are casting the ATS Gaming Tournament number 1, brought to you by Steel Series and Complet. Right now, Tangoes does have a 1-0 series lead over Baget, B-A-G-E-T. So maybe it's like Baget, I'm not too sure. But go is gonna be the call. Bear out. Well, both teams did call go, even if one person did say no. So the game is gonna resume, and Tangoes obviously want to try to win this game ASAP, because again, late game, not looking good when there's a reverse and a Lifesteal and TA and a Static Storm against them. And meanwhile, just seeing the rotation of the heroes, checking out Bear's gold, 2100 gold in the bank. We'll see if he goes for a plate mail, could pick up a Vlad's or the Hyperstone right now. I think he needs to get as tank as possible, because again, the brunt of the Radiant Hammer will be on him. And meanwhile, looks like a bit of farming happening. Roshan won't be back for a long while, so both teams contend to farm. Radiant very content with this. They have more physical DPSers, they have a lot of magical damage on their side, they have RP, so if they manage to get their way somehow to something like a refresher, it should be pretty much GG. But actually, Radiant gonna make an aggressive move towards middle. what level in power? Level 3 in power, so we'll give TA as well as Leicester a lot of extra damage. You can see TA pumping out almost 200 damage per hit for the most part, 250 damage with that Empower on her, as well as the Refraction. If she gets a meld hit on top of that, if she can actually land it, then it'll just be able to pretty much one-shot the CM for the most part. The Dire Sports continue to farm up. Really not much else to say at this point. I already looked at the items. And just looking at the overall pace of the game, I do think Radiant have the late game advantage. They have RP, they have 2 physical DPSers, they have a solid amount of magical damage, so Ghost Scepters really can't counter them completely. They have a lot of initiation with the Magnus and the TA. And Dire, they want to split push, but right now it's very difficult to split push against the TA with the traps, with the dagger, with Magnus with the dagger, with Thrall, with the glimpse coming in. So Radiant, or the Dire, just staying hold up in their base, and that's going to give Radiant a lot of opening to farm up, but actually the fact that Radiant are not defending the top lane indicates where the Radiant might be towards the Dire. As meanwhile, the Bear does have Hyperstone. Will it die right now, trying to burn off the Refraction charges? Unfortunately, will not be able to do so successfully. One more charge left. The Refraction has all been dispelled, as the Bear is going to get Demonic Purge immediately respawn. Keep in mind, the Purge does have a delay in the damage, so you can immediately blink it back because it doesn't do 0 damage at the start. So Purge will be done for the next 50 seconds. Purge, pretty much the least important ultimate on the side of the Radiant squad. They do have the Blinking Magnus Bomb in the wings, so Dire are going to have to play super carefully.
Hey B-Ballin, I'm back. Sorry about that. My dog is more high maintenance than my girlfriend. And actually, give me one more second. Hate to do that to you.
No problem, as Shoudian is going to get a shield on. Here comes the Magnus with a huge blink in reverse. Nyx Bomb is going to pop. Static Storm, unfortunately, Kinetic Field was a bit late. Gonna pick off the Shoudian, and the Dire actually surviving this. That reverse mode was beautiful, as TA is going to die as well, as the split focus, the fact that Static Storm was not in play for the most part, means that Dire are going to take an absolute team wipe. Holy, when I saw that reverse, I was not expecting that, but just the split focus, it appeared like it was a bit too much. And who didn't get caught in that reverse? I think it was probably the Windrunner or the Rubik. They got telekinesis off. The Disruptor could not lay down the kinetic field as fast, and so a couple people were able to escape the static field. But still, wow. With that reverse, you expect to win a team fight 10 out of 10 engagements, and the fact that they didn't do so, going to be very brutal. And here comes a disconnect. Is there going to be a pause or a GG? Or I'm not too sure, because this happened last time. There was just a mass amount of disconnects. Magnus going to disconnect as well. He's dead, so not going to pause it just yet. Not too sure what's going on at this point. But Magnus is going to respawn. Looks like they're going to give up this tower for now. And Lone Druid's going to pause the game. I think they know that the game is nowhere near being over. So Magnus probably just bugged out. Here comes the reconnect. As interesting enough, the Radiant teammates didn't pause it. It was up to the Dire to repause it. As I guess they didn't pause because he was dead. Didn't want to interrupt the flow of the game too much. Meanwhile, TA gonna immediately teleport in, get a bunch of refraction charges dispelled. Nice deny on the tower, as Disruption is gonna fly a nice shackle shot by Fox yet again, gonna catch a Shoudian. No Disruption is gonna be placed in Lifesteal, trying to do whatever he can, gonna immediately Lifesteal a bomb. That's gonna take away precious rage seconds. NA is gonna go back and drain all Magnus HP. And here comes the shackle shot in place. Impale gonna finish off the retreating Magnetar. And this looks to be the beginning and the end. Glimpse backward onto the CM. Static Storm is online, but is very hesitant to use it. Very low HP. Needs to go back and heal up. Mana Burn just putting in so much work. Here comes the Force Staff in by the CM. Doesn't need a Blink Dagger. Just going to Force Staff with the Frostbite. TA, no buyback. And this is going to be in bottom barracks for sure. And GGs are called out of Tangoes in one fell swoop. God, I forgot to speak apparently. In one fell swoop, gonna end the game in a span of about 2 minutes. Man, when you see a reverse polarity like that, you expect that we win that team fight 10 times out of 10. But I need to watch the replay. I need to see exactly what happened in that fight. Could not really call that comprehensively. I think the shackle on the Leicester was a bomb inside Nyx, or inside the Magnus though, and had the rage up. So I really don't know what went wrong in that team fight for the Radiant, but as is, Tangoes is going to move on to the Grand Finals to face against the Rat in the Dark, who did beat them in an earlier round. So thank you for watching, and we will be back very, very soon with the Grand Finals, so see you in a bit.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And of course, it's the end of the cast where the lag ends. As Tangoes gonna move on, now they have placed in the money. But yeah, thanks for watching. This has been B-Bon, co-casted with Shredkid for the most part. And we'll be back with the grand finals very, very soon. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.